You cook at home thinking it's safer than eating out. You trust your pots and pans to be harmless. But what if your cookware is slowly poisoning you? For seniors, the stakes are even higher. Toxic coatings, heavy metals leaching into your food, and chemicals linked to cancer and kidney damage are hiding in kitchens across America. Today, we're exposing 7 cookware brands you need to throw out immediately, and the 2 that are actually safe for your health. Coming in at number 7, we've got T-fal. T-fal built its empire on one simple promise: easy cooking, easy cleanup, nothing sticks. For decades, American families trusted this brand to make dinner simpler. Seniors especially loved the lightweight designs and the promise of using less oil for heart-healthy cooking. The red heat indicator dot became iconic, a symbol of kitchen convenience. Walk into any department store and you'll see T-fal prominently displayed, marketed as the affordable choice for everyday cooking. But here's what T-fal never told you. For years, their non-stick coatings contained PFOA, also known as perfluorooctanoic acid. This chemical was used to make that slick, easy-release surface, and while it made flipping pancakes effortless, it was quietly accumulating in your body. PFOA doesn't break down. It stays in your bloodstream for years, sometimes decades. The Centers for Disease Control found detectable levels of PFOA in 98% of Americans tested. 98%. That means almost every person walking around in this country has this chemical circulating through their bloodstream right now. For seniors, this isn't just a statistic. PFOA has been linked to kidney cancer, thyroid disease, and elevated cholesterol. If you're already managing blood pressure or taking heart medication, your body is working overtime to filter toxins. Adding PFOA to the mix puts extra strain on organs that may already be compromised. Your doctor might be adjusting your medication dosages, trying to control conditions that are being aggravated by chemicals you're unknowingly ingesting from your cookware. Now, T-fal claims they've moved away from PFOA, but here's the problem. They replaced it with other fluorinated compounds that scientists call regrettable substitutions. These replacement chemicals, like Gen-X, are showing similar toxic profiles in early research. The slick coating that makes your eggs slide off the pan may still be releasing harmful particles every time you cook. The Environmental Protection Agency has already begun investigating these replacement chemicals, and early findings are not reassuring. And there's another issue nobody talks about: heat damage. When non-stick pans are overheated, anything above 500 degrees Fahrenheit, they begin releasing toxic fumes. The coating breaks down and sends polymer particles and fluorine gases into your kitchen air. You might notice a faint chemical smell, like burning plastic mixed with something metallic, or your parakeet might suddenly get sick. That's not a joke. Pet birds are so sensitive to these fumes that they can die within hours of exposure. Veterinarians have documented hundreds of cases of birds dying from what they call Teflon toxicosis. If it kills a bird, what do you think it's doing to your lungs over years of cooking? Seniors with respiratory conditions, COPD or asthma, are particularly vulnerable. Those fumes irritate airways and can trigger inflammation that lingers for days. You think you're making a healthy stir-fry, but you're breathing in chemicals with every sizzle. The searing sound of vegetables hitting the hot pan masks the silent release of toxic compounds into your kitchen air. Consumer testing has also found that T-fal coatings degrade faster than advertised. Within months of regular use, that smooth surface starts showing scratches and peeling. Those tiny flakes, they're ending up in your food. You're literally eating the coating. Studies have found that damaged nonstick pans can release thousands of microplastic particles per minute when heated. T-fal promised safety and convenience. What they delivered was a slow drip of chemicals into your body, your food, and your air. And for seniors managing multiple health conditions, that's a betrayal you can't afford. At number 6, we have Cuisinart. Cuisinart positioned itself as the premium choice. Sleek designs, professional-grade marketing, and prices that made you feel like you were buying quality. The brand became synonymous with serious home cooking. When you saw that Cuisinart logo on a box, you assumed you were getting the best. Department store salespeople would steer customers toward Cuisinart, citing the brand's reputation and heritage. But assumptions can be dangerous. Independent lab testing has revealed troubling findings about Cuisinart's non-stick and ceramic-coated lines. Several products showed detectable levels of lead and cadmium in their glazes and coatings. These heavy metals don't belong anywhere near your food. Yet there they are, baked right into the colorful surfaces that Cuisinart markets as safe and healthy. Lead exposure is cumulative. It builds up in your bones and organs over time, never fully leaving your system. For seniors, this is especially concerning because your body's ability to eliminate toxins decreases with age. Lead has been linked to cognitive decline, memory problems, and increased risk of dementia. It also raises blood pressure and damages kidneys. If you're already taking medication for hypertension, lead exposure can counteract everything you're doing to stay healthy. You're fighting an invisible battle where your cookware works against your medication. Cadmium is equally dangerous. It accumulates in the kidneys and can cause permanent damage to these vital organs. Seniors with diabetes or existing kidney issues are at heightened risk. The National Kidney Foundation warns that even low-level cadmium exposure over time can accelerate kidney disease. For someone already monitoring their kidney function, this additional exposure can be the difference between stable health and a serious decline. Here's what makes this worse. Cuisinart's marketing never mentions these risks. They talk about healthy cooking and non-stick convenience. They show images of vibrant vegetables sizzling in colorful pans, professional-looking kitchens, and happy families gathered around home-cooked meals. What they don't show is the lab report indicating heavy metals in the coating. What they don't mention is that those beautiful colors might come with a hidden price. And let's talk about those colorful ceramic coatings. Bright reds, oranges, and yellows often require pigments that contain heavy metals to achieve those vivid hues. Every time you heat that pan, there's potential for trace amounts to leach into your food. It might be a tiny amount each time, barely detectable, but tiny amounts add up over months and years of cooking. 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. The cumulative exposure becomes significant. Some Cuisinart products have also been flagged for uneven heat distribution, which causes hot spots. When one area of the pan gets significantly hotter than the rest, coatings degrade faster in that spot. That means more flaking, more chemical release, and more contamination of your meals. You can see it happen. The coating bubbles and peels in certain areas while the rest looks fine. Doesn't it feel like grocery stores and kitchen retailers care more about packaging than what's actually in the products? The same goes for cookware. That beautiful box with the professional chef on the front tells you nothing about what's leaching into your scrambled eggs. Cuisinart charged premium prices and built premium trust. But trust doesn't mean much when the product betrays your health. If this helps you stay safer in your kitchen, hit subscribe. It's free, and it means you'll never miss these exposés. Now at number 5, Farberware. Farberware has been around since 1900. That's over a century of American kitchens trusting this brand. Your grandmother probably had Farberware. Your mother probably inherited it. And now, you might have a set sitting in your cabinet, thinking it's a reliable classic. The brand trades on nostalgia and heritage, marketing itself as a trusted American tradition. But longevity doesn't equal safety. Farberware's non-stick lines have faced serious scrutiny. Consumer reports and independent watchdog groups have found that many Farberware pans use coatings that degrade rapidly under normal cooking conditions. Within just a few months of regular use, the non-stick surface begins to chip and peel. Those fragments end up in your food. You can see them floating in your soup, stuck to your fried eggs, mixed into your pasta sauce. For seniors, ingesting coating particles isn't just unappetizing, it's potentially dangerous. Your digestive system may already be sensitive. Many older adults deal with conditions like diverticulitis, IBS, or chronic inflammation. Introducing foreign materials can cause irritation, inflammation, or worse. And if those particles contain fluorinated compounds, they're adding to the chemical burden your body is struggling to process. But the coating isn't Farberware's only problem. Several of their stainless steel lines have been tested for nickel release. Nickel is a known allergen and irritant. Prolonged exposure can cause skin reactions, digestive issues, and respiratory problems. For seniors with compromised immune systems, nickel sensitivity can develop even if you've never had issues before. Your immune system changes as you age, becoming more reactive to substances it previously tolerated. When acidic foods like tomato sauce are cooked in nickel-containing stainless steel, the leaching increases significantly. The acid pulls metal ions from the cooking surface into your food. That marinara you're simmering for Sunday dinner could be pulling nickel right into your meal. You season it with salt and pepper, not realizing you're also seasoning it with heavy metal. The longer you cook, the more you extract. Farberware's quality control has also come under fire. Consumer complaints describe pans arriving with visible defects, scratched coatings, warped bottoms, handles that loosen after minimal use. When a pan warps, it doesn't heat evenly. When it doesn't heat evenly, coatings break down faster in hot spots. It's a cascading failure that puts your health at risk. One defect leads to another, and soon you're cooking on a surface that's actively shedding material into your food. The company built its reputation on tradition and trust. But tradition doesn't protect you from modern manufacturing shortcuts. And trust doesn't mean anything when the pan on your stove is shedding chemicals into your breakfast. Most people never learn which cookware is actually safe. But stick around, we're breaking down the solutions at the very end of this video. Number 4 is where things get frustrating. Greenpan. Greenpan markets itself as the safe alternative, the eco-friendly choice, the brand that cares about your health. Their whole identity is built on being different from traditional non-stick cookware. You see their products in health-conscious stores, marketed alongside organic foods and natural products. The messaging is clear. This is the cookware for people who care. They claim their Thermalon ceramic coating is free from PFAS, PFOA, lead, and cadmium. They use words like healthy and sustainable and peace of mind. When you buy Greenpan, you think you're making the responsible choice. You pay more because you believe you're protecting your family. But independent testing tells a different story. Multiple studies have found that ceramic coatings like Thermalon degrade significantly faster than traditional non-stick surfaces. Within months of regular use, that smooth ceramic finish begins to lose its non-stick properties. The surface becomes rough, uneven, and prone to sticking. Food starts burning and sticking in patches. The easy cleanup you paid for disappears. Here's the problem. When ceramic coatings break down, they can release silica particles and other compounds. While these may be less toxic than PFAS, they're not harmless. Inhaling silica dust is a known respiratory hazard. Construction workers and miners wear protective equipment to avoid silica exposure. And when those particles end up in your food, your body has to process them somehow. Your digestive system wasn't designed to handle microscopic ceramic fragments. For seniors with respiratory conditions, even minor airborne irritants can trigger flare-ups. That faint dusty residue you notice when you wipe down your Greenpan, that's the coating wearing away. And some of it is going into your lungs and your meals. You might not feel the effects immediately, but chronic exposure adds up. There's also the issue of manufacturing consistency. Greenpan sources production from multiple facilities around the world, and quality varies dramatically. Some consumers report receiving pans that showed coating problems right out of the box. Visible defects, uneven surfaces, areas where the ceramic is already thin. Others found that the ceramic began flaking after just a few uses. The lottery of quality means you never know what you're actually getting. And here's a dirty secret about eco-friendly cookware. The environmental claims often focus on the manufacturing process, not the product's entire life cycle. When your Greenpan coating fails after 6 months and you throw it away, that's waste in a landfill. The sustainability marketing doesn't account for how quickly these products end up in the trash. A traditional cast iron pan lasts generations. A Greenpan might not last a year. Why do you think companies use words like natural and eco-friendly when the products still have problems? Because those words sell. They create an emotional response that bypasses your critical thinking. You feel good about the purchase, even if the product doesn't deliver. Greenpan promised a safer kitchen, but if the coating degrades faster and releases particles into your food and air, how safe is it really? What's the worst cookware experience you've ever had? Drop it in the comments below. Coming in at number 3, Rachael Ray Cookware. Celebrity endorsements are powerful. When you see a familiar face on a product, your brain creates an instant connection of trust. Rachael Ray built a media empire on her approachable, everyday cooking persona. She seemed like someone who genuinely cared about making home cooking accessible. Her 30-minute meals, her enthusiastic personality, her everyman approach to food, it all felt authentic. So when her cookware line hit stores, people bought it by the millions. The bright colors, affordable prices, and that famous name made it seem like a smart choice. Grandparents bought sets for their grandchildren. Families starting out picked up the starter collection. It felt like bringing a little piece of cooking celebrity into your kitchen. But celebrity endorsements don't guarantee safety. Rachael Ray's non-stick cookware has faced numerous consumer complaints about rapid coating degradation. Users report that the non-stick surface begins peeling and flaking within weeks of purchase. The coating comes off in visible chips that end up in your food. Some people have photographed the damage, showing coating that bubbles and separates from the base metal underneath. Independent testing of similar budget non-stick lines has found that cheaper manufacturing processes often result in thinner, more vulnerable coatings. When you're saving money at checkout, you might be paying for it with your health. The coating that should protect you from sticking instead becomes the contaminant in your food. The hard enamel exterior on many Rachael Ray products presents another concern. Some colored enamels contain heavy metals to achieve those vibrant hues, the oranges, reds, and purples that made the line so visually distinctive. While the enamel is on the outside of the pan, chips and scratches can expose the underlying materials. Heat transfer through the pan walls means that exterior coatings aren't completely isolated from your food. The heat carries trace amounts through the metal. For seniors managing multiple medications, the last thing you need is additional heavy metal exposure. Your liver and kidneys are already working to process pharmaceuticals, blood pressure medications, cholesterol drugs, diabetes treatments. Adding lead, cadmium, or other contaminants strains organs that may already be under pressure. Your doctor adjusts your doses carefully, not accounting for the chemical load from your cookware. Consumer reports also describe handles that become loose or break, leading to dangerous spills. A pot of boiling soup tipping because the handle failed isn't just an inconvenience, it's a burn risk. Seniors are more vulnerable to serious burns and slower to heal from injuries. A scald that might inconvenience a younger person can hospitalize an older adult. The skin thins with age, and healing takes longer. The betrayal here is personal. Rachael Ray made her career telling you she cared about your kitchen and your family. But the cookware bearing her name doesn't reflect that care. It reflects cost-cutting and marketing over substance. Why is it always the cheapest products that seem to cause the most health problems? Coincidence? Or something more calculated? At number 2, we have Calphalon. Calphalon positioned itself as the serious choice for home cooks who wanted professional results. The brand emphasized durability, heat distribution, and performance. When you invested in Calphalon, you expected it to last. The prices were higher than budget brands, and the marketing promised you were buying quality that would serve you for years. Kitchen stores displayed Calphalon prominently, and sales associates recommended it as an upgrade. But lasting doesn't mean safe. Calphalon's non-stick lines use PTFE-based coatings. PTFE is the technical name for Teflon and similar fluoropolymers. While the brand phased out PFOA, the coating itself still presents risks when damaged or overheated. The chemical structure remains problematic under certain conditions. Here's what happens when PTFE coatings break down. Above 500 degrees Fahrenheit, the coating begins to decompose. This releases polymer fumes that can cause flu-like symptoms in humans, a condition actually called polymer fume fever. Symptoms include chills, fever, headache, and respiratory distress. For seniors with heart conditions or respiratory issues, these symptoms can be severe and require medical attention. You might not connect your illness to your cookware, instead, assuming you caught a bug. But you don't have to superheat the pan to have problems. Normal wear and tear causes scratches and degradation over time. Every time a metal utensil touches the surface, it creates microdamage. Those damaged areas release particles into your food and can become hotspots that accelerate further breakdown. The pan that looked fine on the surface is silently deteriorating at a microscopic level. Calphalon's anodized aluminum lines present different concerns. Anodized aluminum is treated to create a hard oxidized surface. This is supposed to prevent aluminum from leaching into food. But when that anodized layer becomes scratched or worn, which happens with regular use, the underlying aluminum is exposed. That protective barrier is gone. Research has linked elevated aluminum intake to cognitive issues and neurological problems. While the science is still evolving, some studies suggest a connection between aluminum exposure and increased Alzheimer's risk. For seniors already concerned about memory and cognitive health, this potential link deserves serious attention. The last thing you want is cookware contributing to cognitive decline. Quality control issues have also plagued Calphalon. Consumer complaints describe anodized surfaces that chip or flake, handles that detach without warning, and lids that don't fit properly. When premium prices don't deliver premium quality, the trust equation falls apart. You paid for professional-grade equipment and received something that fails under normal household use. Calphalon wanted you to believe you were buying professional-grade equipment. But professional kitchens replace their cookware regularly. They understand that wear means replacement. Home cooks often use the same pans for decades, not realizing that degraded cookware is a health hazard. Don't miss the part of this video that actually protects you. The safe alternatives are coming, but only at the very end. And now, the worst offender on our list at number 1. Gotham Steel. If you've watched late-night television in the past decade, you've seen Gotham Steel infomercials. The dramatic demonstrations, the eggs sliding around the pan without a drop of oil, the cheese being burned onto the surface and then wiped away like nothing happened. The promise of titanium and ceramic creating an indestructible cooking surface. Those infomercials ran constantly, targeting audiences who were home during the day, including many seniors. The marketing was relentless and effective. Gotham Steel became one of the best-selling cookware brands in America. Seniors were particularly targeted. The emphasis on healthy cooking with less oil appealed to those watching their heart health and cholesterol. The low price point made it an easy impulse purchase. Order now and get a second set free. Just pay separate shipping. But Gotham Steel's promises were built on deception. First, Let's talk about that titanium claim. The pans are described as titanium infused or titanium ceramic. This sounds impressive. Titanium is strong, durable, and high-tech, the stuff of spacecraft and medical implants. But independent analysis has shown that the actual titanium content in these coatings is negligible, if it's present at all. The word titanium is marketing language designed to evoke quality, not a description of significant material composition. You're paying for a word, not an ingredient. What you're actually getting is a thin ceramic coating over aluminum, and that coating fails spectacularly fast. Consumer complaints about Gotham Steel are overwhelming. Online reviews paint a consistent picture of disappointment and concern. Users report the non-stick surface degrading within weeks. The coating chips, peels, and flakes into food. That beautiful copper-colored finish becomes scratched and stained almost immediately. The indestructible surface can barely survive a month of normal use. The infomercial showed years of abuse. Reality delivers weeks of gentle cooking before failure. But here's what should concern seniors most. Testing by consumer advocacy groups has found concerning levels of PFAS compounds in some Gotham Steel products. PFAS are the forever chemicals. They don't break down in the environment or in your body. They accumulate over time, building up in your bloodstream, your organs, your tissue. PFAS have been linked to cancer, thyroid disease, immune system suppression, and developmental problems. These are the same chemicals that have contaminated drinking water supplies across America, leading to billion-dollar lawsuits and cleanup efforts. Isn't it strange how billion-dollar companies keep having these problems, yet their products are still on every shelf? The FDA's oversight of cookware coatings is minimal at best. Companies can use concerning chemicals as long as they stay below certain thresholds. But those thresholds were often set decades ago, before we understood the cumulative effects of chronic exposure. The regulations haven't caught up to the science. For seniors, PFAS exposure compounds existing health risks. Your body is less efficient at filtering toxins as you age. Your kidneys may already be compromised by diabetes, hypertension, or medication effects. Adding a constant drip of forever chemicals through your cookware is asking for trouble. These chemicals don't flush out. They accumulate with every meal you cook. Gotham Steel's aluminum construction presents additional concerns. Aluminum is reactive with acidic foods. If the coating fails, and based on consumer reports, it will fail quickly, you're cooking directly on aluminum. That tomato sauce, that lemon chicken, that vinegar-based marinade is all pulling aluminum into your food. The acid interacts with the bare metal, extracting ions into your meal. The infomercials showed eggs sliding effortlessly from the pan. What they didn't show was the coating ending up in your omelet. They didn't show the fumes released when the pan overheats. They didn't show the scratched, ruined surface after a few weeks of real-world use. They didn't show seniors calling the company for refunds that never came. Gotham Steel represents everything wrong with kitchen product marketing. Flashy claims, celebrity-adjacent endorsements, and as seen on TV legitimacy, all covering up a product that fails fast and may harm your health in the process. Ever notice how these brands keep getting complaints but never actually change? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think the government protects consumers or the cookware industry? When you see products like Gotham Steel still selling by the thousands, it's hard to believe anyone's looking out for you. The safe picks, what actually works. Now here's the good news. Not all cookware is dangerous. After all these warnings, you deserve to know which brands are actually worth your trust. We promise solutions and we're delivering them right now. Safe pick number 1. Lodge Cast Iron. Lodge has been manufacturing cast iron cookware in Tennessee since 1896. That's over 125 years of American-made production with no toxic coatings, no mysterious chemicals, and no degrading surfaces. The same foundry that made pans for your great-grandparents is still making pans today, using essentially the same process. Cast iron is exactly what it sounds like. Iron cast into a cooking vessel. There's nothing to chip, flake, or release into your food. The material is inert and stable. When properly seasoned, cast iron develops a natural non-stick surface from polymerized oils. This seasoning gets better with age, not worse. The pan you buy today will perform better in 10 years than it does now. For seniors, cast iron offers specific health benefits. Iron is an essential mineral, and cooking in cast iron can actually add small amounts of dietary iron to your food. This is particularly beneficial for those with anemia or low iron levels, a common issue in older adults. Your cookware actually contributes to your nutrition instead of contaminating it. The durability is unmatched in the cookware world. A well-maintained Lodge pan will last generations. Your grandchildren could inherit cookware that's still performing perfectly. Compare that to non-stick pans that need replacement every few years. The cost per use makes cast iron the most economical choice over time. Lodge's pre-seasoned line means you don't have to do the initial seasoning work yourself. The pans arrive ready to use right out of the box, and maintenance is simple. Avoid soap, dry thoroughly, and apply a thin layer of oil occasionally. That's it. No special care required. Yes, cast iron is heavier than aluminum-based cookware. That weight might require some adjustment in how you handle the pans, but that weight provides excellent heat retention and even distribution. Your food cooks consistently without hot spots that damage coatings on other pans. Once heated, cast iron stays hot, which means better searing and more consistent results. Lodge also offers enameled cast iron options, like their Dutch ovens. The enamel coating is glass-based. No PTFE, no PFAS, no heavy metals. It's completely inert and safe for all cooking methods. You can use acidic foods without concern and clean with regular soap and water. The enamel comes in beautiful colors that won't leach anything into your food. For seniors concerned about cookware safety, Lodge cast iron represents the gold standard. No mystery chemicals, no coating degradation, no health surprises, just honest, straightforward cooking surfaces that work as advertised. What you see is what you get. Safe pick number 2, All-Clad stainless steel. All-Clad has manufactured premium stainless steel cookware in Pennsylvania since 1971. Their products are used in professional kitchens worldwide and represent the benchmark for stainless steel construction. When top chefs outfit their kitchens, All-Clad is often their first choice. Stainless steel is an alloy of iron, chromium, and nickel. The chromium creates a passive oxide layer that prevents rust and creates a non-reactive cooking surface. When properly constructed, stainless steel doesn't leach metals into your food under normal cooking conditions. The surface is stable and inert. All-Clad's bonded construction sandwiches aluminum or copper between layers of stainless steel. This provides excellent heat conduction while keeping the cooking surface completely stainless. Your food never contacts the aluminum core, only food-safe stainless steel. You get the heat distribution benefits of aluminum without any exposure risk. For seniors managing health conditions, this matters tremendously. Unlike reactive aluminum or degrading non-stick coatings, quality stainless steel remains stable over years of use. There's nothing to chip, nothing to flake, nothing to release into your meals. The pan you use on day 1 performs the same on day 1000. The durability factor is crucial for long-term value. All-Clad offers a lifetime warranty on their cookware. These pans are designed to last decades with proper care. You buy once and never worry about replacement. Compare that to budget non-stick options that need replacing every year or two. Over a lifetime, the investment pays for itself many times over. Yes, All-Clad is an investment. Prices are significantly higher than mass-market brands, sometimes several times higher. But when you calculate the cost per year of use, quality stainless steel often costs less than constantly replacing cheap non-stick pans. And you never pay the hidden health costs of toxic exposure. The true cost of cheap cookware includes what it does to your body. All-Clad's American manufacturing means consistent quality control. Every pan meets strict standards before leaving the factory. You're not gambling on variable overseas production quality. The craftsmanship is consistent across every piece. For seniors who want a non-reactive, non-toxic cooking surface that performs professionally and lasts indefinitely, All-Clad stainless steel delivers. No coating concerns, no chemical worries, just reliable, safe cooking for the rest of your life. Your kitchen should be the safest room in your house, not a source of hidden toxins. Now you know which cookware brands to avoid and which ones actually deserve your trust. But this is just the beginning. New products hit shelves every week, and not all of them have your health in mind. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote, so you never get blindsided again.